Hello, once again. Hopefully they're for the final time tonight. And welcome to another episode of Schnozzcast. You're here with Bob and Corey. Bob and Corey. Oh, he's in my...
I was going to say, what?
He's in my brain, dude, because I've been trying to get a hold of him to get this thing working. Bob and Todd are here. Corey's on a special assignment. Todd, how are you?
I am fan-freaking-tastic, Bob. It's good to be here with you. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good now, man. Yeah, housekeeping out of the way. If you're new to the show, thank you for joining us. If you saw the 2 failed starts on YouTube tonight and we're like, what are these idiots doing? You'd be right to think that. We're trying to figure it out. But please come back again, because normally Corey runs this shit through Switcher and it goes a lot smoother. But you can find any of our previous episodes anywhere where you get a podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube. It'll tell you when we're going live. You can also reach out to us at schnozzcast@gmail.com with any of your existential questions or requests for relationship advice from Todd Dillon. Or you could DM us directly on Instagram at Schnozzcast.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
You're not going to be happy with me.
Oh, no.
So YouTube isn't coming up.
It's not coming up? Well, we're not actually live on YouTube?
We're not. It says, error occurred. Please try again later. Playback ID, blah, 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 blah.
You know what? You know what? That's fine. We are recording, and that is all that matters. We've monkeyed with it now for the last 30
Far
minutes.
too long.
Yeah, we're done. We're just doing a local recording now. Corey can put this up later. Yeah, so just a little explanation of why why I seem disjointed and why I'm calling out Corey's name instead of Todd. I've been on the phone twice now with Corey in the last 30 minutes, and in my brain, the more problems that I'm having with getting this stream to work, the more I'm like, Corey, because he couldn't be here tonight to do his normal job and run the show.
Well, he could if he wore the pants in his house, but he does not.
Well, okay, so for some background, because you never know if Danielle or one of her friends is going to watch this, or even Corey. We don't even know if Corey's going to watch it, but we went last weekend. We took a break, and Lori wanted to have a party, like the only one of the summer, in her new patio. So we said, hey, we're going to take a break for the week. We're going to release an older banked episode that's never seen the light of day yet. We're just going to have fun. Have a fire, have some drinks, whatever. And so that was my idea for Lori, and Corey and Danielle came to it for Lori, which was great. And I was really happy that he did it and made the time, and I think we had a good time. And then middle of this past week, we're doing the production meeting, and Corey's like, hey, boys, sorry, I think I'm out for the weekend. And we're like, oh, okay, everything all right? And one of Danielle's friends had done kind of the same thing and messaged Danielle saying, hey, I really want to have a bonfire and have a party over here. Can you guys make it? And Danielle, who's a great partner and of the show and a great wife to Corey, who comes over here with him every Saturday. Like, we're sitting here doing the show, you and me, Todd, and Corey, and Danielle is eating her dinner, like, up in my rumpus room watching TV, which she doesn't have to do, but she's one of the good ones. So Corey did the thing that a good husband should do and say, well, hey, yep, you do a lot for the show. We could take this week off and Bob and Todd can just run it. And I know, Todd, that you disagreed with that. And
because none of that was going through my head when I heard what was going on. So
yeah, and what was going through your head was what?
That Corey is a kept man.
Yeah, well, that's one way to look at it. And I think we can all, extrapolate from that if Mary had made the same request to you, you'd be like, hell no, I'm not going to your friend's party with you.
I'm the old man than to make those type of requests.
So she'd never even make the original request.
Exactly.
Well, that's, I could see how that's the way that would go for you. But that doesn't make what Corey did wrong. Corey was a good man and, did a little something special for his wife, whereas normally every Saturday she's doing something nice for him. So.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say it makes it right either.
Well,
You say potato, I say Not on my watch.
No potatoes for me, sir. Thank you. So tell me how you doing, Todd. What's going on?
I'm doing great, man. It's a beautiful day here. We got some rain over the last couple of days. It hasn't rained here in Washington in forever.
Mm-hmm.
So we were getting a little bit of wildfire threats, but thankfully no wildfires in the area. Our air quality is actually pretty good, but we got a couple days of rain, and now we're back to beautiful weather again.
Excellent. Yeah, it's been hot as fuck here for the last few days. Mid-90s. But I did have a chance to go see our podcast brother, Brett Engel, out in the west side of Michigan, and his family. They all said to say hi to you, by the way.
What's up?
I also told him that you were mad at him, and I told him why.
I'm not mad at anybody.
No, you seemed like you're a little bit, I'm
not
a little cross.
I'm not cross.
And he did say, he's like, hey, this morning when I got up and went to get ready to leave, he said, yeah, I'm going to call Todd today. I go, oh, okay. I'm going to assume your phone didn't ring.
Oh, my phone didn't ring.
Now, here's the thing that I hope he doesn't. Well, we could talk offline about this. I don't want to tell tales out of school. It's not as though there are tens of thousands of people out there listening to this. So I probably could tell the story, and if he really thought about it, he'd be like, no, of course that's fine. No one watches you. No one listens to you.
Yeah, only the hundreds of people who do.
Well, yeah, if we're lucky. But they go. So I got there dressed kind of like this with a, button up, collared, like summer shirt. Like I'm ready to party. Let's sit down, have bonfire, have some drinks, whatever. And I get up there, and his son, who is his son was like this tall last time I saw him, and now the kid's like 6'2", and he's like he's playing minor league hockey. Like he's a strapping kid. And
nice.
He and Brett were operating this Bobcat, trying to move. There's a house that's a couple doors down from them that they're trying to sell. But the guy who lived there had his whole basement was like a giant woodworking shop. And so he had like 5 or 6 like really heavy pieces of gear, like from the 1960s, radial arm saws and all manner of stuff that was super heavy and super awkward to get out of the basement, out of the house, and get up the hill into the trailer so they could drive it back home. And so that's what they were doing. And maybe I should have just said, hey, I'll be down by the water having a drink and just let me know when you're done. But I didn't. I'm like, you guys need help? And they're like, yeah, come on up. And so like 2.5 hours later, I'm just pouring sweat. It's 92 degrees. There's no breeze. And they got, most of the stuff moved. Now, to be fair, his son did all the heavy work.
Hit the button.
Damn it. Sometimes I catch myself, but not this time.
To be fair.
To be fair, I didn't really do the heavy work. That was, as it should be, the young lad doing the heavy work. But I, did as much as I could. But still, at the end, I was like, oh my God, what the hell? There's no breeze. I'm right by a lake. How is it this hot? Right by the lake. And I would have ran down the hill and jumped immediately into the lake if I knew anything about the lake. But this is how this is how you know you're getting old. If you're at a lake, and even if you go out in somebody's boat, and they're like, hey, let's go out for a swim, and you're like, okay, put my bathing suit on, we'll get in the boat, go out there, and then everybody starts jumping in, and you realize that you're the only one who didn't dive into the water. You're like, I'm going feet first. I don't know if there's a giant log under there, and I'm going to kill myself. That's how you know that you've hit
that old man wisdom, because you've dove in face first many times and regretted it probably.
And I know people very, very well, like Todd Dillon, who dove face first out of a hot tub into what he thought was a snowbank. Yeah, exactly. And it turned out to be a giant block of ice, like you'd find in the Fortress of Solitude.
Absolutely.
And you did go to the hospital.
Good judgment comes from experience.
Yeah,
experience comes from bad judgment.
But my experience here came from your bad judgment, so I didn't have to make the original mistake. I lived from your bad example.
There you go. I'm
So
proud of you.
I thought
I'm
you'd
proud of you,
appreciate.
Bob Beep. I'm proud.
I thought you'd appreciate.
Yeah, and you bent your knees, bent your knees, not your back, when you were lifting. I hope too.
Oh no, I didn't even do any lifting. No, that's not
Oh,
true.
nice.
I did bend my knees and not my back. But I found myself like kind of slowly inching toward like inside the house where there was air conditioning, and kind of watching them from outside the house, because I'm like, it's too fucking hot out there, and they're doing a job that's meant for two people. Why am I standing out here in the heat? I could be inside, where the old man and the women go to be comfortable. So yeah, that was, but it was good. Our other podcast friend, Scotty Moore, ended up showing up. Exactly.
Never heard of him.
Yeah. He's been on the show a few times. He's actually famous for bringing us like 3 or 4 cases of Yingling, which we at the time could not get in Michigan, and then having like 6 of them, and then leaving all of the rest of that beer for us to drink for the rest of the summer. So he may not be known to you, but tip of the cap to you, Scott Moore, for that kind gesture.
Yeah, thanks for nothing.
And as the king of the kind gestures, he stopped in Alma on the way to West Michigan and brought back 3 Pizza Sam pies for everybody to enjoy.
Nice.
Which I thought was really, really cool.
He'd have been really nice if he'd brought Lefty.
Lefty?
Yeah.
Oh, from... Was that his name?
Yeah.
We talked about him all night. I didn't realize he had a name.
Lefty.
Because Lisa never went to Alma, so she didn't know what Pizza Sam's is about or why they were important. And we're explaining about this, heavyset older gentleman who would just tromp, slowly all over campus, up and down the stairs, trying to give pizza away. And I never realized what his name was.
Lefty.
But do you remember?
Rest in peace.
Do you? That's probably true. There's no way he's still alive. There's no way.
Yeah, Lefty's. I've heard before that Lefty unfortunately passed away, but
It's
it was
good
Lefty.
authority.
Pizza.
Yeah. The trick we were talking about was if you were like in Brusky Hall or something like that, where it was a quad, right? You've got 4 rooms around like a central hallway. You would, knowing that one of your neighbors was gone for the weekend, like out of town, had gone up to Central Michigan or something for the weekend or gone back home, you'd order a pizza to their room, and then when the guy would tramp up the stairs and knock at the door and no one would answer, you'd kind of peek your head out the window and be like, What's all the hubbub here? Oh, somebody ordered pizza? Oh, they're not answering? Oh man, that's really I can't believe that happened to you. Well, I guess if you really need to get rid of that pizza, I'll give you like $5 for it. To a $15 pizza. So I don't know if that's something that happened where you lived. Was it Gelston?
I never lived in Gelston. I actually
Bombright?
I lived in Brusky my freshman year, and then Bombright every year after that.
But you always paid full price for your pizzas?
No, Jerome would pick up the.
Yeah. Oh, your relationship with Jerome goes all the way back to your college days?
Oh, even before.
Now, does that mean that Jerome was a student at Alma, or Jerome was just
no,
live-in manservant in
well,
your dorm room?
I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't call him any of those things, Bob. It's just let's just say that we go way, 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 way back.
Okay. All right. Are we talking pre-college, like junior high?
Pre-high school.
Was he bringing you your milk and cookies in the kindergarten nap time?
We don't go
Jerome.
quite that far back.
Okay. Hey man, can we take a look at that BuzzFeed article that you sent?
Can we, Bob?
Yeah. So this is
probably could.
I'm gonna read. So here's the title to it. The BuzzFeed article is 29 things that basically every person alive has experienced once in their life, but would never admit in a million years. That's kind of a trap, because this is not meant for me to now spring on you. Okay, Todd, name the one thing that you've experienced but would never admit. Now you have to admit it. I don't want to go there, because that's their lives might be destroyed. Marriage is busted up.
Yeah.
So
No.
I don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
I don't have anything bad. I think because these are a lot of these things are again truly things that most of us experience, but you'd never talk about them in any public forum. But hell, that's what this show's about: airing our dirty laundry for the world to make fun of.
Yeah. So I'm just going to go through a few that I've experienced, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe you could do the same thing. So one of these is, the worst decision to be made, where you say to yourself, I'll just get gas in the morning. I don't need to go out tonight. And then in the morning, you're like, oh my God, I have to go get gas too. I've made a huge mistake.
Exactly. I've experienced that as well. I think that's everybody, because for whatever you file it away and you're like, I'm going to remember that I need to not only get up early, I can't let anything sidetrack me. I got to get out of the house because I have an extra stop to make. But inevitably, you don't leave near as early as you thought you were going to. And then just because the universe likes to frickin' kick you in the nuts when you're down, that's when there's like going to be the worst traffic jam, some rain, some other frickin' some other manifestation of tragedy in your route to work. So now stopping for gas is like, oh no.
Yeah. It screws up the whole day.
Indeed. Yeah. So I've been there.
Another one was a suspicious amount of rest. This happens to me like every couple of weeks. This is when your alarm, you've been sleeping, right? And your alarm hasn't gone off yet. Mm-hmm. But you wake up suspecting that the amount of sleep that you're getting is suspicious.
Yeah, that happens to me quite often these days, especially being that a lot of my days start at 5 o'clock.
Right.
And so now I think maybe at the very least every other week, one of those days, I'll wake up like you're right. Your body's like, oh, feels like I've been sleeping for like 7 hours.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no, I've
overslept.
I'm late for my meeting
because I was only going to get 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah, happens to me quite often. You actually skipped over another one.
I did. But before that, I will say that there's these two scenarios are what happens to me almost every morning. It's either I wake up early and look at the clock and realize that I still have like 2 hours left to sleep, which is the best feeling in the world. And I feel happier then than I think I was the day I got married. It's just a feeling of peace. But then the other one is waking up in a panic, thinking that I've overslept, which I think is the suspicious amount of sleep. Not that I've necessarily gotten like a lot of sleep, just you wake up and something's not right. You're like, oh, the amount of sun coming through that window seems a little bit more than I would expect for the time that I would. Oh my God, what time is it? So, okay. So what did I skip?
No, well, actually, before we leave this one though, to the first scenario where you wake up and you're like, you're super happy because you have like 2 hours left. Every now and again, that happens to me as well. Because usually what wakes me up is that I have to pee, right? So you're like, oh crap. And then I'm like, and so sometimes I'll try and avert my eyes to see what time it is so that I don't, so that I can go right back to sleep.
Right.
But what happens is when I see that moment of joy, you're like, holy cow, I have 2 more hours to sleep still.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I waste almost all of that time in that I don't like go back to the position that I'm a stomach sleeper. So I'll, for whatever reason, when I got that 2 hours, I start kind of gloating about it and I roll over on my side or maybe on my back where I absolutely cannot fall asleep. Just going, I have 2 full freaking hours before I have to get my ass out of bed. And I dick around and then I'm like, why am I laying on my back? I can't sleep this way. And then by the time I actually roll over and like get ready to go, and then I get this big smile on my face, close my eyes and my alarm goes off. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I squander that 2 hours almost every time that I wake up, that I had that really happy feeling. So I'm a squanderer.
All right. So what did I skip here?
The feeling when someone calls your name right after you just sat down. Oh, that happens to me a lot. Yeah. I'm not going to name any names.
Right.
But suffice it to say, Jerome rarely calls my name right after I sat down.
Yeah.
But somebody else does.
Yeah, I think it depends on who it is that's calling my name and what I think it's about. But I find that the older I get, the more likely it is that I'm not getting up again. Like, there better be. This is going to have to wait until I have at least 2 total reasons to get up. Then I'll go, okay.
I just like, I actually kind of pay attention to the thought that goes through my head, like right at that moment.
Yeah. What bad things are going to happen if I don't get up right now? Is something going to burn? Is something going to break? Is something going to die? Because if none of those 3 things are going to happen, it's probably going to have to wait.
Yeah.
Until the commercial or, the end of the quarter, whatever it is.
Yep.
Yeah, this one too, the typing standoff. So you're both typing to each other on the phone, and you type your thing, and then you wait. Sometimes it's a long wait. Where you're like, dude, you were just typing. You asked me a question. I said yes, and it took me like 3 seconds to type yes and hit send and for it to get to you. Where did you go? And now they're gone. But then you see the 3 dots, and the 3 dots. Sometimes the 3 dots just disappear, and you're like, okay. And then they come back again, and they disappear. And they come back in. I'm like, you motherfucker, you're soft soaping your message to me. You've decided that the words you're using aren't correct. That I somehow need special language. I can't handle the truth. Just say what you got to say.
See, that's the funniest bit, Bob. I often get accused of that as well. But what you have to remember in this world is, unfortunately, our smartphones are capable of doing multiple things at once. And so while oftentimes what happens is when I leave someone, when I'm the person leaving somebody else hanging on the other end because they see the text bubbles because I'm going to respond.
Yeah.
Usually what happens is somebody else from having nothing to do with our conversation on chat texts me as well, which supersedes what I was doing, because then I get the notification that someone else is trying to talk to me, or I get a phone call.
Right.
Or quite honestly, sometimes one of the chickens starts freaking trying to fuck one of the other chickens, and I'm trying to knock off all the chicken shenanigans.
Yeah, that's a uniquely Todd thing. That doesn't happen to me. Which would be really weird because I don't have chickens. So, number 9 here, the world's most dangerous game. This is a problem that probably happens to me way more than it should because I'm too stubborn and stupid to learn from my own mistakes. But when you're cooking in the kitchen, you're trying to make whatever you're making. Let's say it's spaghetti. Let's say it's you're trying to fry up some chicken breasts and you're going to make a salad or whatever it is. You, instead of following what you know to be the rules of the kitchen, like the best practices, you're going to do a shortcut because you're like, I know this shortcut. I do this shortcut all the time. This shortcut always works. And I think it saves me time. When in reality, you're just introducing a huge percentage of risk that you're going to fuck up the food or drop something on the floor because you're too lazy to just take a second and do things the right way. The example here is, risking to lose all your noodles down the sink because I refuse to wash up more than 2 dishes.
Nobody wants to clean the strainer.
Yeah, the colander. Yeah. I'll take the pot and I'm going to put the lid on the pot and I'm just going to crack it just a little bit. And then I'm going to take my 2 hands with the hot pads and I'm going to grab the handles of the pot and somehow also hold down the pot lid. And I'm just going to tip it over the sink and pour the water out that way. That way I don't have to wash a colander. I can't tell you how many noodles I've lost down the sink because of that stupid move. But I'm too dumb to learn from it and just go, listen, you have to feed multiple people here. You should probably have as many of those noodles as you can have. Maybe get the colander out. No, I don't do that.
I get the calendar out, but every now and again I get the. I'm trying to go so fast. I don't shy away from the extra dishes, and I don't usually cut corners because I cook so often.
Yeah,
I've learned all those lessons, but I will get overzealous and often pour past or like slightly miss the center of said colander, and then half the noodles go over the force of the water and the noodles tips the colander over. So it's like, fuck. then you just fish them out of the frickin' sink anyway. Who cares if they went down the drain? You just pull them out. Just don't start the garbage disposal. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Number 12. I wanna walk through this because I feel like this has been a problem that you've talked about in the past.
Oh, and, yeah.
This is the juxtaposition of these two incongruent things, having a sudden urge to poop, coupled with the fact that you're already late to leave your house. And you mentioned that this is a thing that might strike when you're on a plane and you're stuck in like the middle seat or something like that.
No, well, no, I've only had one of those issues on a plane, but no, that happens to me, I think, in the last probably 5 or 6 years, and typically it's on my way to the airport. That's what it is. It's like, if I don't normally have to go, like some people have, like they wake up and their morning ritual is to pinch a loaf.
Yeah,
that's not my thing. But if I eat or drink anything in the early morning hours,
yeah,
it is a guarantee that I'm going to have to go at some point within the hour. And so inevitably what happens is I'm trying to get somewhere and I'm like, no, I'll just have a sip of coffee or take it on the road with me. And then that first sip or I'll grab something for the road because I'm like, I'll just have a little sip of juice or something on my way to wherever I'm going. And then, no.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're fighting it back. I don't want to get too. I don't want to get too graphic because I know we actually are live and on YouTube, but it seems like that first poop of the day is extra soupy too. So you got to be careful.
What?
You got to make sure you don't have a. You got to make sure you don't have a sharding incident on your.
I feel like that's directly connected to the last thing you ate the night before.
Nah.
No.
Seems like my body starts, I think my stomach acids are
liquefying
working
everything immediately.
Exactly. I got some powerful acids in my stomach.
I guess. Wow. No, it's the thing that everybody's got a morning ritual, right? Whether it's you're gonna have, whether it's the coffee that does it, it's a natural diuretic, or if you're a smoker and the nicotine also helps with that kind of thing. But what I have found is that even if I have both of those things, if I'm at a different locale, like if I'm not at home, if I'm on the road and I'm in a hotel room or something like that, or I'm staying over at somebody's house, the whole morning routine thing takes a back seat to just whatever I need to do. And doesn't matter if I have 3 cups of coffee. If I'm not at my house and there's no familiar environment around me, it's okay. I find that I don't have that kind of, coming to Jesus moment where it's like now or never in the bathroom. But if you're then coming home, like from the airport or from a trip or somewhere, and you get within 20 minutes of your house, that's when all of a sudden it must be the feeling of like I'm almost home. I know home is a place where I could do this in relative privacy. And the closer you get, the worse you're like, oh my God, am I going to make it? And I don't have that feeling anywhere else. Maybe this is too much to say on a podcast. Yeah,
it's a lot about our old man pooping habits, Bob. It feels like this. We're suffice it to say is that leaving that first thing in the morning can sometimes be a challenge, and I do get the sudden urge every now and again.
When you weren't prepared for your girl's family to have a shoes off house and you've worn mismatched socks, or your sock has a giant hole in the bottom of the foot. Oh, too many times has that happened to me personally.
That's not been it's pretty funny. If I make a point to that as I didn't have an incident where that actually happened to me, but to make sure that it never happens, because often you do go to people's houses and you take your shoes off. Uh, if I discover there's even the start of a hole in any of my socks,
yeah,
I rip them completely apart so that there's no chance that I can ever wear that sock again.
Oh,
So I have
okay. You know your limitations, and you're like, I cannot put myself in a position where I grab this sock just because the hole's small enough that it's acceptable.
correct.
Good for you, man. Not many. There's a lot of people who have issues that are not smart enough to get out of their own way. So hats off to you for that.
Well, I think it's part of the fact, as I've said on the show numerous times, I'm not a fan of feet. Not necessarily not my own, and for sure not anybody else's on the planet Earth. Not women's, not men's, not anybody's. And so, yeah, to put somebody else through seeing my freaking toes hanging out of a sock, yeah, I wouldn't do it to myself, and I would never do it to anyone else. So like I said, even if there's like a pinhole size in the bottom or anywhere where, like, again, your foot's going to be exposed. Which one of the things that bugs the crap out of me is when they put those little plastic little things when you buy like a pack of socks, and they put that little plastic thing so people don't steal them in there, and then it leaves a big hole in the sock. And sometimes they put them in a spot where, like, okay, well, this is going to turn into a hole soon. So sometimes I only get a couple of wears out of a new pair of socks because if I spot that hole, it gets ripped and thrown in the trash. And I have
all
so
over.
Yeah, and Mary's like, how come there's all these single socks? I'm like, well, because there wasn't a hole in the other one.
All right, the worst feeling when you do the mandatory pocket check for the big three and feel something missing. There's only two or one.
I didn't understand that one.
The big three. What do you think the big three is that should be in your pockets as a man?
Your keys.
That's one.
Your wallet.
That's two.
My balls.
No, in your pocket. Not in Mary's purse. Your pocket.
My keys, my wallet.
Telephone. Your phone.
I don't put my phone in my pocket.
You don't put your phone in your pocket?
Well, in my pants pocket.
Yeah, your pants pocket.
I don't
what
put it in my
pocket do you think we're talking? So what, do you just
Yeah,
walk
that's what I'm
around
saying.
carrying the phone all the time?
Yeah.
So how many times you lost your phone?
Never.
Never? So the
Never.
phone is just like permanently in your hand all day?
No, I set it down. If I don't put it in my pants pocket, I can tell you.
Okay, when you're going from
Bob,
place to place, you're going from the car to the restaurant to the car. Is it in your hand?
No, I might put it in my jacket pocket.
Okay, what if you're not wearing a jacket?
I hold it. I mean, I might.
Okay.
The only time I could actually honestly, now thinking about this, the only time my phone ever goes into my pants pocket is only for however long it takes me to pee. If I go into a restroom and I don't have a jacket with me, then I'll put it in my pants pocket.
Right.
Just long enough to wash and dry my hands. And that's it.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I'm glad that you do that. But a lot of other people do actually put it in their pants pocket, whether it's front pocket, back pocket, whatever it is. So the big three is, keys, wallet, phone.
Okay.
And
yeah, I was confused by that because I'm like, I don't put...
The panicked frustration of only feeling one or two of those three things there. Which,
well,
yeah,
that's gonna, yeah.
Depending on I don't think I've ever lost my keys. I've misplaced my phone, but found it again. And I've never lost my wallet. And I used to carry one of those big Costanza wallets in my back pocket.
I got one of those.
But now
I still do.
It's a, Ridge wallet type of a wallet that goes in the front.
Gotcha. No, I'm still a back pocket Costanza wallet guy.
Are you?
I've only lost my wallet 2 times since I've been on planet Earth.
Okay. That's a pretty good ratio.
Yeah, and the one time is actually It was my God moment.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my wallet at Elma,
Yeah.
in a spot where I likely never ever would have found it if I hadn't prayed.
So you prayed and were shown the way miraculously.
So this is a true story. 'Cause I lost my wallet when I was living in Bombray,
Mm-hmm.
and and this is when I was rooming with Pinkerton and Boot and
Yeah.
Wally were our suite mates. So we shared a bathroom, and I tore apart my room, their room, the teak house, and when I say everybody who wasn't, everyone who was a pledge or whatever, I tore apart every one of those spaces,
Yeah.
to find my wallet and could not find it, and I was so rattled. I have a very deep connection with my wallet, and that's how I
Yeah.
lost it the first time is a different story. But I'm like, that is like the one thing. Like, if I lost my wallet, the world stops. And so anyway, I lost my wallet and destroyed everything. Called my mom in a panic, a college student, calling my mom to say, I don't even know what to do. I was like losing my mind. And my mom, of course, is being like anybody's mom. She's like, Todd, it's just a wallet. Everything inside can be replaced. And I said, fuck you, lady. I need to find this fucking wallet right fucking now. I can't believe, I don't want to hear your soft fucking, it'll be all right, I can replace everything.
Yeah.
Fuck
It's not what I need.
Exactly. And you know what my mom said to me?
Click.
No.
What?
Even scarier. I'm on my way to see you. See, Todd Dillon didn't get to be Todd. Exactly. Todd Dillon didn't get to be Todd Dillon because his mama was soft.
Wow. Okay. So she's coming up there to kick your ass.
Indeed. And I realized too, I'm like, she's actually really going to get on the road and do this. And I'm like, this is going to happen. And my wallet is still missing. And
yeah,
so
I'm getting my ass kicked and still have no wallet.
Exactly. And Bob, this is the God's honest truth.
Yeah.
I finally broke down. There was no place for me to go and search. I had retraced all my steps from the day before because I knew I'd had my wallet the day before. Mm-hmm. I'd gone to every place I'd been. There's no way I could have or should have lost my wallet. And so I just finally, now my mom's on her way. I have roughly 3 hours because she was about 100 miles away. I have roughly 3 hours before I have this confrontation. I have to beat my mom down in the dorm because I am a college student, by the way. I mean, she can come up there and try and kick my ass, but that ain't gonna happen.
You don't care if the rest of the college sees you beating up your own mother. You've got a reputation to protect.
Exactly.
Okay.
But so I just collapsed to the floor on my face and I prayed to God to find where my wallet was, Bob.
Yeah.
And when I looked up, my wallet I saw my wallet. It was in a place that never, I don't think ever I would have found it.
Underneath the loft, on top of the shelving unit.
Nope. I'll give you one more guess, then I'll tell you, let you in on the craziness of it all.
I'm trying to. You're in Bonbright. I mean, I know what those rooms are like.
Yep.
I was in Bonbright at one point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you had a loft, did you not?
I did. Wasn't in the loft.
Okay. It fell out of the loft into the CD drive on your
Nope.
CD deck. Okay. Nope. I give up.
The night before when I got back in, wow, we seem to be gravitating towards poo stories. I'd taken a.
You told me to guess where it was.
I know.
You but said I found it. I would have let it go.
I know, but this is why again why it needed to go here because it'll tell you why I wouldn't have ever found it. I'd taken a poop the night before and had my wallet in my back pocket, and for whatever reason, when I got up, when I pulled my pants up, my wallet fell out of the pocket and went directly under the toilet because the toilets were mounted to the wall. They weren't floor standing units.
Oh yeah.
And there's like a little 3-inch gap between the bowl, the center of the bowl, and the floor. But you could, if you were standing up, you can't. There's nothing to see.
So you went
So
down
my
on your hands and knees and prayed to God, and you happened to
I
glance.
laid on my stomach to pray. Dude, I was like that. I was that freaking desperate. I wanted to be as close to the ground as possible.
You know, God is actually supposed to be up the opposite direction.
No, you
should have gone to the roof, really.
No. I got on the ground to lower myself to as low as I could, and when I looked up from my prayer, I happened to see that my wallet was exactly in the center, right up against the wall. It was like somebody had placed it there.
Yeah.
And I know that wasn't the case because I had threatened all the people that I named with physical violence if this had been a perpetrated joke.
Right. So did your mom actually show up?
I was able to call her before she was able to get out of the house because fortunately when I cursed her, she wasn't ready for the day. So
okay. She's like, I gotta fix my hair now. I gotta get my best dress so I can go up there and kick his ass.
Either that or some brass knuckles. She might have been knowing my mom, she was getting ready for war.
So did you apologize?
I gotta stop by and pick up some hollow points. Yeah. I did.
Cat of nine tails.
I called and apologized profusely. And it only took us a couple months to get past that.
Well, it was worth it then.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad God was there for you in your time of need.
He was. Always has been.
All right, you want to move on to some sports here? I feel like we probably should do some of that.
Well, we can do that, Bob, but you didn't ask me, and we didn't do?
What's
we
that?
didn't take a shot, given all the technical difficulties, which I can't believe. You didn't ask me what I was drinking. I mean, we're all kind of off script. All we're talking about is
we are. Well, we're still cobbling a show together. So let me rewind back. Hey, Todd, what are you drinking?
There you go. Dude, Sierra Nevada has made an amazing Oktoberfest fest beer that is freaking fabulous. So I'm drinking that because Oktoberfest is just around the corner. Missed my trip to Munich. That was one of the best trips of my life, going to Oktoberfest in Munich. Fabulous. And this beer is a really, really nice representation of the beers that I had when I was in Germany. So,
okay.
Sierra Nevada's Oktoberfest fest beer. Highly recommended.
And your shot?
My shot? It's a beautiful day here, Bob. So I'm back at it. That sweet tea, twisted tea whiskey.
Okay. Well, if you want to do a shot, I'll toast you with my good boy vodka seltzer, but I have no shot for tonight.
Wait, what?
That doesn't mean you don't have. Listen, it's been a long couple of days. I legitimately thought, I'm like, you know what? Corey's not here to do a shot with. Like, maybe this is just a night where you just don't do shots. And then we had like 30 minutes of issues trying to get this episode going. And during those whole 30 minutes, I'm like, I really wish I had a shot right now.
And you said
I would have had 5 of them. What's that?
You said
no, sorry. I alone, because this is my podcast and not yours, had these problems. Yes. And
let's check. I don't know if you meant the royal we or.
If you know me at all, you know I will never, when I say we, I never mean the royal we. I mean you and me, baby.
You and me, baby.
Yeah.
Cheers. Well, then cheers,
buddy. All right.
That's good stuff, man.
Let's get into a little bit of sports here.
90 seconds sports.
Hey, I almost forgot to ask you.
90
Did you watch your movie?
I did.
Well, dude, we can do that too. There we go. All right. So, Todd, it's Saturday night.
Indeed.
It's middle of August, and there's got to be some sports going on somewhere.
Man, it's training camp, man. The NFL is the NFL season is just around the corner. College football is just around the corner. Although I'm not as pumped about college football as I normally am, Bob. I think, I've shared over the last several episodes when we do 90-second sports that I think the new super conferences are kind of, and the NIL licensing and payers actually negotiating salaries for college sports is ruining the game. So this year I'm probably less enthusiastic about college football than I've been maybe ever. But I'm super intrigued just to see kind of how this thing evolves. But ultimately, football season's just about ready to start across, high school, college, and the professionals. So I'm super excited. It's football season, seeing these preseason games. Although that said, I think the thing I wanted to talk about is the Lions and some other teams too have had some catastrophic injuries early in this preseason. And the fact that we have got extra preseason games is really, really, again, it's kind of scary. I mean, the sport is super fast. It's super violent, even though they've made tons of rule changes for player safety. I just feel like, given what's happened in the preseason, it seems like this might be a weird year in the NFL because injuries are coming fast and furious in just a few preseason games.
Yeah, I've seen the same thing, and it's really hard to not to think of the last season and the Lions ending up. I think the whole last half of the season with like a dozen guys out, and you're hoping it doesn't happen again. Although every team gets injuries to some extent that affect the offense or the defense. But
yeah, it's a part of the game. It just seems like these injuries, they're racking them up like crazy early on. And it just seems like, and I don't know if it's the guys are faster or stronger or all of that. It just seems like you watch before the middle of the season, there's going to be like more notable players likely dinged up than we're used to seeing. It just feels like that seems to be the new theme in the professional ranks. And then, like I said, in the college ranks, I'm not loving the fact that, players get unhappy midway through the season because of how things are going, and then they quit because they quit on the team because they're going to get into the transfer portal and all that crap. So
right.
This is kind of the year I'm trying to think. And once again, this is the second year in a row I will not be paying for a Sunday ticket because until they move that off YouTube, I can't justify the spend.
Yeah, I get it, and you're a stick to your decisions kind of guy, but I feel bad that there's games you're going to miss because of the lousy marketing of sports.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I'm happy to pay for it. I don't want to pay, but I don't want to pay for a poor product. That's the big thing. I did love the Sunday ticket because I did like the fact from I'm a huge fantasy sports guy. So love playing fantasy football. And so that means that even games that I wouldn't normally have any interest in, there's an awful lot of times where, hey, there's a game I'm interested in, and I watch it with a little bit different lens because I got money on the line. But nonetheless, I enjoy watching the football. But yeah, I can't. And again, I know that YouTube is our core platform, but they need to make some major improvements to their offering around football before they're ever going to get me back. I think the fact that they limit the amount of games that you can watch at one time, when at the end of the day, it shouldn't matter. If I pay for the subscription, I should be able to watch every single one of the games that's available on direct TV or not on YouTube. I'm sorry. Because that's kind of what I'm paying for.
Yeah.
But they limit you to 4 broadcasts at a time, which for me, it's a bummer. Maybe it suits 90% of the market, but not me.
Well, I do like, on a positive note, I'm liking what I'm seeing from some of the players, on the line in the Lions preseason roster, that are hitting the field and getting some reps. The guy from Michigan, the Tesla from Hudsonville, is making a good name for himself, and they like him a lot because he keeps on improving.
Well, and he rolled up to his interview in his own custom Lions jersey.
Yeah, which I think they respected.
That's some swagger.
Yeah, but he's backed
swagger.
it up by his play, which is really, really cool.
That's some swagger. Plus, we had an interesting. The Raiders came to Seattle, where Coach Pete Carroll kind of debuted this season, his season opener as the Raiders head coach. That was actually pretty cool. And the game ended in a 23-23 tie.
Wow.
So that was actually pretty cool.
Okay. Miami Detroit got together and ended up in a brawl. I guess there's
been a lot. Well, I think that's kind of the other recurring theme too, right? These guys during this phase, right? The intensity is high. Everybody's fighting for a job. Even like veterans aren't safe. So yeah, tempers are going to flare, and especially when a young guy shows up, an older guy. Mm-hmm. During these sessions, it's going to get hot. Even, Jamison Williams has gotten a brawl.
Well, that's what I was referring to. But it's hard not to think, well, that's just J-Mo being J-Mo. You know, it might not have been a brawl that needed to happen. It might not have been an intensity. It might just have been because that dude seems to know how to get in his own way at every opportunity while still having tremendous potential and having the confidence of the coaching staff. So, like, of course, you hear it's a brawl. You're like, hey, I bet J-Mo was involved. Of course he was.
The funny thing is, brawl, receiver, nobody's getting hurt.
And they're all wearing those padded helmets. Like, no one's getting hurt.
It's not even that. Well, I was going to say, you're a fool if you're throwing punches at helmets no matter what. But most of those guys are, again, the dumbness of the fight is dumb, but they end up taking their helmets off. But again, two receivers swinging at each other, a receiver and a D-back, nobody's getting hurt. Yeah. He's not picking fights with linebackers or linemen. I'll put it to you that way.
Oh, no. Yeah. Tigers have been on the upswing as of late, doing a little bit better. Swapped out half their pitching staff.
See, it's too bad that Corey's not here because remember my prediction when we were talking a couple episodes back about the Tigers had the best record in baseball and how great they were going to be, and I said, remember I did that?
That went on for a long time. I actually had to edit out like at least half of it because it was setting off some of the censors on Apple Podcasts, and they were flagging us as like a medical show because they heard the sound and they're like, well, that's clearly this is some sort of copyright on like a medical procedure that should be
the flatulence show.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, hopefully next week you can bring it up. I'll try to remember. I'll make a note.
I made a note. I definitely will. I need to give Corey a little bit of something. A little bit of something. But yeah, baseball season, and actually, I got to do something that for the first time since we moved to Washington. Mary and I made it out to the Boeing Classic, and I got to stand 2 feet away from Ernie Els and Vijay Singh. I actually got to see them play out about 10 minutes away from my house at Snoqualmie Ridge Golf Course, and it was the first time I'd been on that golf course. Amazing course.
Okay.
No, I've never played. It's private. Okay. You have to know somebody to get there. I probably know some people who live there. I just haven't had an opportunity to play there yet.
Gotcha. Where did you set up camp? Course. By one of the tees or one of the greens or what?
Yeah, well, so we had passes for the what do you call it? Not the corporate section, but we had our own private tent on the 14th, which is called the Canyon Hole.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's I want to say it's like a 400-yard par 4, but you can cut it down to like 370 if you actually go for the green because the risk is you're hitting it over this canyon where if you don't, I think you have to hit 310. You have to carry 310 to get over the bunker and land the green. But the problem is when you're hitting driver and you're landing it at that distance, you're likely not gonna hold the green, and there's a sand trap kind of right behind it. Oh, and so it's very interesting. But we saw it was pretty cool. In fact, what I noticed was most of the players took the long way around, the safe play, and most of them only parred the hole. But the people who did take the shortcut, of which Miguel Angel Jimenez
Mhm.
cut the canyon. He actually went over, hit the green, went into the sand trap behind, but then had an amazing sand save for birdie.
So maybe that's the key. That if you know you play a good bunker shot, then you could take that chance.
Yeah, well, there's a couple there. The other besides the bunker in the way, if you're too long, like ultimately, those guys are not playing to lose because you're not going to lose the ball. But there's a spot if you don't get the sand trap, if you're in between the two traps and you cut the corner, you could wind up taking a penalty because you're in an unplayable lie, kind of behind the hole. So there's a couple risks there, but it's a really really cool hole for that very very reason. And so we set up shop in that private tent area. And watched people kind of cut the corner. And then after about an hour there, we actually went up to the tee box so that we could see them hitting there. That's where I actually I got a couple of really great pictures of Ernie, Stuart Sink, Justin Leonard. I didn't even realize he was old enough to be on the senior tour. It's like, holy cow, I'm getting old because all these people that I love their golf game are on the senior tour. In fact, we saw David. We walked another hole up, and we got to see David Duval get a birdie. It's good to see he's doing well on the senior tour, but it seems odd that David Duval is on the senior tour now.
I got you full screen because I'm going to go grab a drink real quick. But I did want to ask you. I didn't want to walk away while you were talking and then have you not realize I was gone.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, no problem. So please tell me first of all that you've got a couple of good pictures that you could send to me because I would love to see them.
Absolutely.
And secondly, what would you have done on that hole? Like, because the people that tried to cut the canyon, like it seems like that's the Tin Cup. That's the last hole in Tin Cup in the Costner movie.
Exactly.
Right? Either you're gonna make it, or you're gonna have to save something, and you took a chance, but the odds of make it being worth it are probably slim, right?
Yep.
What would you have done?
So thank you for that question. I love it. And in fact, I just got out. I got my second round of golf in last weekend, and you know me, Bob. I'm a gambler in every sense of the word. I love the thrill of gambling. It really in any format of anything. I'm a fan of the risk, and so when I look at that hole, the nice thing is I still have every now and again. I'm not going to boast and say that I'm a 300-yard bomber off the tee every time I swing. I still am able to pull out a 300-yard drive every now and again. But for me, 100%, I would have gone for the green for a couple of reasons. Number one, if I hit a perfect shot, I know that I can get there,
Right.
and I'm okay playing out of the sand. And for anybody who hasn't played on like a pro course, the sand is way different than any muni that we normally go to. So playing out of the sand, unless there's like crazy high rims on the bunkers, the sand isn't as bad a penalty as it might be at a muni. Secondarily, the way that the course is set up for me, I definitely would have gone for the green as well, because when I miss, especially if I make good contact, and if I don't hit a nice straight bomb, I hit a really decent power fade that's about 260 if I make good contact. And so a power fade there would have actually put me in safe ground. And I would have probably hit towards the right edge of the green, which would actually put me towards safety if I was going to. That would be my bailout. So yeah. And lastly, every time in golf, and even last weekend, every time I resign myself to play smart, typically like if I'm having a decent round, I'm like, oh, I'm playing well, and there's a risk that I can take here. But I'm not going to take that risk. I'm going to take a safety, grab an iron or a 3-wood, and hit a shot that I know that puts me safely in a spot where I have a good next shot.
Right.
I always tend to fuck those shots up. So every time I try and play it safe, that's when I hit, like on a day where I'm hitting everything. My biggest mishits come when I don't gamble. So to answer your question, long, Bob.
Yeah.
Going for the green 100% of the time, all the time.
All right. All right, I want to kind of end the show here with maybe one or two quick things. One of which is gentleman's agreement. If you're good,
I can do it.
here we go.
Gentlemen's agreement. Gentlemen's agreement. Gentlemen's agreement. Gentlemen's agreement. Gentlemen's agreement. Gentlemen's agreement. Oh, gentlemen's agreement. Oh, it's the motherfucking gentlemen's agreement. Gentlemen's.
Hey, before we get started this, I got a quick question for you, really fast. Do you remember when we were talking about, you had forgotten Mary's birthday, you were trying to take her out some.
What, do you keep bringing that up? So are you like trying to start trouble, Bob? It feels like you're trying to start trouble.
Are you implying that she's forgotten that you forgot her birthday, and I'm now reminding her of that? Do you think she forgot that?
It feels like you're trying to do that. I don't know that she's forgotten, but It seems like as soon as that scab is ready to kind of fall off on its own, you guys say something so it gets flicked off, and there's a little blood spot, and a new scab's got to form. So I do remember when I forgot her birthday.
Okay.
So,
do you remember the name?
But I didn't forget this year.
No, this is in the past. You've mended your ways and rededicated your life to Mary and only Mary.
Mm-hmm.
With everything that you do and think and say and be all about what's in Mary's best interest.
Word.
Put yourself, in the back.
Yep.
Sometimes at great personal cost to
Word.
make sure that she gets everything she wants.
Everything.
And I think that's where we are now. But my question to you was, when we were talking about that, do you remember the name of the restaurant that we made up that you were that you were trying to get a seat in for?
I don't remember the name of the restaurant.
Damn it!
I do not.
All I needed to know, and I can't remember it. I was hoping that you did. I want to.
We'll have to listen to the episode.
It was an Asian restaurant, though. Am I correct?
I don't remember.
All right. Well,
I try and forget the things that are negatives, Bob. I try and move forward with the positives. Like when I did remember Mary's birthday, and I did take her to a really good restaurant.
That was a positive for sure.
Yeah.
All right, maybe
this last time I took her to the Salish Lounge, the Salish Lodge. I'm sorry. Beautiful,
Salish?
overlooking. Yep, beautiful restaurant overlooking a romantic waterfall in the area. Amazing,
Okay.
Bob.
Well, all right.
I got mad skills when I remember.
All right, gentlemen's agreement.
Yep.
This is a segment. If you've not heard it before, it's a segment in which we assign each other a movie or TV show that we like, that we think the other person's going to like, and you got to go watch it. Then you got to come back and give us a spoiler-free review. So not to, in case it sounds good, interesting to all of you out there, that you might want to give it a shot. So Todd, you had to watch from aside from Corey,
Street Fighter,
Sister Street Fighter. No, you had to watch Street Kings.
Oh. Yes, I did. I had to watch Street Kings. Star-studded movie. I think it was made in either 2008 or 2011. It's an older movie. Young Chris Evans, Keanu Reeves, Forrest Whitaker. I think, is that Jeremy Irons, or I can't remember the one other dude. There's who else? It's a who's who. Cedric the Entertainer's in it. It's a casting's dream. And Corey assigned this to me, and so I thought that I'd be delivering you a blow. Bob, this movie, Street Kings, is about a group of dirty cops doing dirty cop shit, and then one of the dirty cops wakes up and gets a conscience and tries to do the right thing. Oh yeah, Terry Crews is in it too. If you like America's Got Talent. Anyway,
Terry Crews.
Yep. I give this movie a solid C-. While I didn't throw up in my mouth, oh yeah, a solid C-. I would have a hard time saying to any human being, you should watch this. I thought the acting was meh. I thought the script was meh. I thought the action was meh. It's like, think low budget John Wick. Okay, acting, a lot of star power. Solid C-. Solid C-. I think if you had assigned this to me, Bob, it would have been a D+. But since it's Corey, he gets a solid C-.
Hold on. Why does he get a higher grade from me than I do for an apples to apples comparison if we assigned you the same movie. That makes no sense.
Well, because I know that you are what's the highfalutin word for movie aficionado?
Film lover. I don't know.
That's not no. There's got to be a word for it.
Sure
but anyway, whatever that is, that's how I hold you to that bar because you've seen some good stuff. You know good film. Corey, on the other hand, is Corey. So he gets a solid C-. Again, I'm not recommending this to anybody. I mean, even people I don't like that much. I'm not saying, hey, you should watch Street Kings or Street Fighter or any of those movies.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean that I might be able to defend my assignment a little bit because of talking about but the cinematography was like the director is really like the shot that he did on the last
cinematography
scene.
C-.
Oh,
acting C-.
All right,
plot.
But Corey
C-.
wouldn't have talked about any of that shit.
Yeah,
He'd been like, I don't know why you don't like it, but
because it's a bad movie for the most part. The only thing I will say, like, it's not at no point did I go, I can't watch it anymore. But kind of at the end, I'll put it this way: Mary slid in next to me about a third of the way through, watched it, and she goes, "Why are we watching this?" and then
that's how you know.
End, yeah. And then at the very end, she's like, "That wasn't very good." And I go, "No, it's a solid C-."
Well, all right. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. I tell you what. If I had to pay for it, Corey would owe me some money.
Oh yeah.
But again, that said, I didn't hate it so much. I couldn't watch it. I've had a couple of those with Gentleman's Agreement. That was not the case here. It just with all the star power. Again, young Chris. It was cool to see young Chris Evans. It was cool to see young Keanu, younger Forrest Whitaker. Although I thought again, Forrest Whitaker's acting not good, especially being that he's a really good actor. And again, I can't remember the one guy who was doing his because it was the Los Angeles Police Department. I'll find the guy's name.
Yeah.
The actor's name in a sec. But basically, him doing his gum chewing. He was like a prototypical. Just bad acting, and
right.
from some of them.
Well, the bad part about that review is that I know for a fact this is a movie that he wants to assign to me. So at some point I'm gonna have to watch this piece of shit. But all right, well, it may seem like we're piling on, folks, but I had to watch The Accountant, also assigned by Corey.
Affleck.
Yeah.
Hugh Laurie I left out, Bob. I'm sorry. I know you're getting ready to do yours.
No, but so back real quickly to Street Kings. That's the problem with those movies where you're like, the cast is stocked with real actors, got people that have put out good products separately, individually.
Yes.
Now they're all together, and you're like, I can't wait to watch this movie. And then you're like, I don't understand how it's such a gigantic piece of shit with all these good actors in it. You feel cheated.
And now I know
it
wasn't Jeremy Irons, and now I know why I thought he was a horrible actor, because he's a better comedian than actor. It was Jay Moore. Plays Sergeant
from
Mike
Jerry
Claddy.
Maguire?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's a
Jay
really
Moore.
good...
And I think he's a good comedian.
Yeah, and a good
he's not a
mimic.
He's not a great actor, and he did and this is 2008. I was right. He was really, 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 really not a good actor in 2008.
Are you saying he's hopefully better now?
He couldn't be any worse. And not for nothing, Rotten Tomatoes score 37%.
You know, Jay Moore's got a podcast. Do you think we should tag them when we post this episode?
Indeed.
Hey, shout out Jay Moore. By the way, this is, a little salt, a little sugar, right? Acting not so great in Todd's opinion, but your stand-up comedy, your impersonations, spot on.
Love him.
A+.
Love him. Oh, and I forgot, Common was in it too. He was actually good.
Oh, so there was a bright spot in the movie, but not enough to get it above a C+.
Oh, C+, C-, Bob.
Oh,
Common.
all right.
If
Oh,
Common
that's
had
right.
not
I
done-
was going to
if-
get the D+. Got it.
Common had a great line, and that's what gave it a C-. It would have been a D+ for Corey too.
All right, I'm putting
Enough about
myself
me.
put myself full screen here. We're gonna go. So my review is the accountant. Stars Ben Affleck as a guy with
Autism.
Autism. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Who grows up to be an accountant, but spoiler free. It's kind of tough to do. Basically, I feel confident that from the trailer of this movie, you get the idea that he's got autism, and despite that, or maybe because of that, he's a fantastic accountant and also a fantastic marksman and hand-to-hand combat specialist.
An art lover.
Yes, for different reasons that we won't explain because that would actually be a spoiler. But I'm giving this movie a solid B- because I'm all about a good Affleck movie, but Affleck only has if you want to watch if you're going to tell me to watch a movie where Affleck is it's an action movie and he's doing lots of punching and kicking and fighting and shooting and shit like that, I'm all about that. If it's a movie where Ben Affleck has a Boston accent, I'm all about that. Like, just to hear him do the Boston accent from whether it's Good Will Hunting or The Town, I'm in. But a movie where Ben Affleck doesn't really say a lot and sometimes has to look either stone-faced or sad or both all the time, it gets a little old because it just I don't consider it to be acting. He's just standing there. There's no, you know, the director might go like, okay, remember in this shot, I need you to start by looking concerned, then move to being sad. And it's like, Affleck, those aren't two different faces. It's the same face. There's no difference. It's just him not speaking with no other emotion on his face other than just, resting face. So I need him to be doing something. I need him to be talking in an entertaining Boston accent, or I need him to be punching, running, kicking, or shooting. So most of this movie was that, but because he's playing a guy who's autistic, sometimes it's great because, like Good Will Hunting, he gets to expound on like different mathematical or financial problems of how somebody's laundering money or why this doesn't add up with that. And he does a really good job. And like, I'll take that all day long. Like the Good Will Hunting speeches for, why this works the way it works, or, something from Ocean's 11 where, Matt Damon comes in the room and he gets a monologue, or like Ford versus Ferrari is a great one. Damon comes into the scene and all of a sudden he's got this big monologue with Henry Ford, the Deuce, and he's going to explain why, why he should still retain his job and why they've got Enzo Ferrari right where they want him. That's a great speech. Affleck needs a great speech because if he doesn't have a great speech, he's just kind of standing there with the same expression all the time. So
He's autistic. He's not going to have a speech.
No, he does. He has several speeches, but the problem is the other characters also have speeches, and during those speeches, they cut away a lot from whoever's talking to Affleck listening to the speech with that same kind of dead-eyed, no expression. There's no,
like an autistic person would, no emotion.
but it's not.
That's great acting.
It's
Bob.
not just
great
in this
acting.
movie. It's other movies in which he's not autistic. What I'm trying to say is, there's times where I'm a huge Affleck fan, and times where I'm like, I don't know if I could watch more than a half hour of this. So I give it a B- because it actually was a good movie. And one of the best parts is that John Bernthal's in the movie too, who I fucking love. He's a great, great, great actor.
Is that his brother?
In the movie, you mean?
Yeah. I don't know actors, so yeah.
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
And the only reason why I'm saying that is because it's not a spoiler, because there's now another movie called The Accountant 2, which is the sequel to it.
Mhm.
And I'd never seen The Accountant. I knew of it. I knew it existed. I really didn't even know John Bernthal was in The Accountant. But then I watched the trailer for The Accountant 2. Haven't seen that either. But in the trailer, they show John Bernthal. And I'm like, oh, John Bernthal's in that movie. Oh, I wonder if he was in the first one. And they're like, man, Ben Affleck, I know you're autistic and shit, but I'm so glad you're my brother. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I know now he's his brother. So the whole surprise of John Bernthal being Ben Affleck's brother in The Accountant was ruined for me before I even started the movie. I already knew he was in it. I already knew he was Ben Affleck's brother.
Gotcha.
So, and now you do too, of course, but I don't think it's a spoiler because there have been trailers out there that spoil it already. So,
yeah, not a spoiler.
woo, I'm in the clear then. All right, so let's do, you want to do new assignments, you and me, for next
I'm
time?
ready. Mm-hmm.
All right. What do you got for me?
Have you seen Love Hurts?
Movie or TV show?
Movie.
Who's in it?
Marshawn Lynch.
I don't think I have.
Mm.
All right, so that's what I got.
That's what you got.
Love Hurts?
Mm-hmm. It's a 2025. It's newish, so you might have to look on.
Yeah, I'll see where I can get it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, for you. You want something that's a little lighter, or you want something that's a little yeah, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to give you this is a stand-up special, and it is on YouTube, so it's free.
Ooh.
It's called Des Bishop, DES, Des Bishop, and the name of the special is Of All People.
Okay.
So the good news is it's only like an hour of your time.
Okay.
And secondly, it's free and watchable almost anywhere. And I'm really interested in what you think about this guy. I kind of stumbled upon him, I don't know, maybe a couple of months ago, and started subscribing to him on Instagram. And some of the reels that he was putting on Instagram were I was rolling. And then he's like, "Oh, I put my special up on YouTube." I'm like, "Let's check it out," and it did not disappoint. So interested to see what you think.
Yep. All right, I'm on it.
And to answer the previous question for what was the name of the restaurant, so here's what happened. This was episode 230.
Hey, Bob.
Yes.
Why did we go black? Neither one of us is on the big screen, and nor are both of us.
Oh, hold on.
There we go.
There we
Much
are.
better.
Hey,
Much better.
I'm not sure
Much
what
better.
happened. I might have hit it with my finger, and I'm glad you noticed it. Yeah, so it was episode 230. It was June of 2023, so over 2 years ago. And we were podcasting from Nick's basement, and during that, it became clear that you had forgotten Mary's birthday, and you were trying to find a restaurant to take her to, and we ended up. I can't remember who started it, but it was, what would that sound like? Todd, you be you. I'll be the person answering the telephone at the name of this restaurant, and I think it was Nick that I asked to be the guy on the phone, and we were like, "What's the name of this restaurant?" And then you're like, "Ring, ring," and he's like, "Hello, apple of my tie."
I like that. Apple of my tie.
Yeah,
That should be a restaurant.
That's what we thought. So why did I ask about that? Really just because I had been thinking about this for a couple of days, because just to kind of close the show out here, we had a production meeting a couple of weeks ago and kind of all came on the same page with sort of an idea of how we can, maybe branch the show out into maybe some new uncharted waters. And we had done this episode two years ago, right? With the Apple My Tie, and it involved some improv comedy. So we call ourselves a comedy podcast because we joke around a lot.
Because we break balls.
Yeah, and we bust each other's balls. Some people might go, "That's not comedy, bitch," and we might go, "Okay, you got something there." However,
I say fuck. You say fuck you, Boju.
Fuck you, lady. I lost my wallet. I don't need your mothering right now. So
Exactly.
That was kind of the first time that I was able to talk anybody into kind of let's role play this thing and basically do improv. And the rules of, and one of the reasons why I'd really never had any success in doing that is because not all of us at the time, names shall not be named, could get behind the concept of yes and, which is the foundation of comedy. If you're going to do improv, you have to jump in with no hesitation and be prepared to make shit up and respond to the situation and give your partners something to work with and hoping that they're going to do the same for you. That, I haven't listened to it for a long time, but that was kind of the first time that happened where we role played what it would be like if, what actually happened when Todd called this restaurant. And then, so 2 years later, fast forward to is maybe a month ago, we did the Kiss Cam episode, and Todd unfortunately was not there for that. It was just me and Corey, but we were talking about the Coldplay Kiss Cam viral moment with the CEO and the people, the people officer, the chief people officer of Astronomer, who got caught on the Coldplay Kiss Cam because they handled it really poorly and got outed by the internet and were subsequently fired from the company. And we talked about it on the show for like 15 minutes, and then Corey said something like, what it was like in that boardroom, on Monday after that show. And I'm like, well, let's do it. I'm going to call the meeting to order. And so we started to do that improv again. And in between, those 2 year span, Todd and I had talked about this a number of times. And I think we were kind of found, surprisingly, that we were on the same page, and we were talking about improv. And I had recommended a podcast to him. He had found a couple of improv podcasts that on his own and ended up watching them. And kind of understanding like, oh, this is a different way that we could go, a different element we could add to the show. And then, I recommended the Middleditch and Schwartz improv show on Netflix to him. And we just kind of talked about it. And now we're all three of us kind of on the same page that we think that this is something that not a lot of other podcasts are doing, and something that we have had a lot of fun doing. And it's something that we want to try to do more of. So for anybody who happened to be listening and saw maybe a post on Instagram or Facebook in which I said, hey, we might be a radical new direction for the show, I'll be the first to admit that radical is probably the wrong word to use there. But but it's a different direction, not like completely changing the show, but adding another element to the show that we're not afraid to use when it makes sense, when it seems like it's going to, it's going to make the show better or be something that we should explore rather than just, skimming the surface. Like, let's dive deep into it and look at it from a different angle.
Let's just be honest with ourselves, Bob.
Yeah.
People have been asking for us to do this for years, and we just hadn't done it. And so now it's time to pull our pants down.
Yeah.
Go drop trowel and get her did.
Yeah.
Improv on the
I think they'd
Schnozzcast,
rather we
baby.
just did improv and not drop trowel on the internet. I don't think anyone was asking us for us to expose ourselves on the internet.
I'm going to drop trowel at the first opportunity, Bob.
Well, you let me know,
I'm
and I'll
fully immerse myself in the scene and go beyond what Jay Moore could in Street Fighter 2.
All right. Jay Moore set that bar real low, and you're going to just kind of hop over it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Reverse limbo style.
All right. That is the podcast of the week. So, Todd, I love you. Thank you for putting up with my bullshit and getting this show going. Everybody out there, thank you so much for watching and listening. Please tell your friends, tell your family, tell people who are looking for podcasts. Subscribe to us.
Tell people you hate.
Yeah, if you really want to. No, I can't get on board with that. Don't tell those. If you hate them, there's probably a reason why you hate them. And we here at Schnozzcast support that rage, right?
Yeah.
You can't. That's got to be directed somewhere. Don't go inward.
Tell
go
people
outward.
you pay for sex.
Tell them what? I don't know.
To watch.
Sorry, I forgot my wallet.
No, to watch, listen to, subscribe, jump on board.
Yeah, I guess
you're paying for the sex. You might as well
I would have gone with like grocery store clerk or your barber. But yeah, if there's a sex worker that you're seeing on a regular basis,
Yep.
and to the point where they feel comfortable with getting a link from you to a podcast, definitely do it. Definitely do it. All right, that's the show. Peace out, everybody. Have a good weekend.